week 7 of the fantasy football season. And here's a few running backs I would drop here this week. The first guy, Alexander Madison of the Minnesota Vikings. So Madison, he's had 2 starts this season for Dalvin Cook, who's banged up with an ankle injury. Week 3 versus Seattle, 26 carries, 112 rushing yards, and 6 catches for 59 yards. And week 5 versus Detroit, another big game, 25 carries, 113 yards, 7 catches for 40 yards with a receiving touchdown and a fumble loss. But week 6 with Cook back in the lineup, only 3 carries for 10 yards. And now the Vikings go on bye here in week 7. And then week 8, they take on the Dallas Cowboys after their bye week. So right here, the only reason I would hold on to Madison, if obviously I'm a Dalvin Cook owner, and you got one of the best handcuffs, if not the best backup running back in all of football. But if I just owned Alexander Madison without Dalvin Cook, especially with Cook back and looking 100% in week 6 ball game versus the Carolina Panthers, there's no reason, in my opinion, to hold on to Madison if you're not a Cook owner. And now with the bye week, you're going to probably need that roster spot to fill in some other positions with other guys on buys or injuries. So right here, in my opinion, it just makes sense to drop Alexander Madison this week. The next running back I would drop is Nyheim Hines of the Indianapolis Colts. So Nyheim Hines, he had a great season last year as their third down and passing downs back over there in Indianapolis. But the last 3 weeks here, he's pretty much shown nothing. Week 4 at Miami, 2 carries, 6 yards, 2 catches, 5 yards, and a fumble loss. Week 5 at the Baltimore Ravens for Nyheim Hines, 4 carries, 18 yards, and 1 target. And week 6 versus Houston, 4 carries, 13 yards, and a catch for 9 yards. So week 7, not a great matchup versus the San Francisco 49ers that give up the 12th least amount of fantasy points to running backs. And right now, Jonathan Taylor, he's really got a lock on that running back position over there in Indianapolis. He's doing it all as Taylor. He's running for big games. He's catching the football and making defenders miss and having a lot of yards after catch. And right now, he's a 3-down back, is Taylor, and one of the better running backs in all of fantasy football. So right now, in my opinion, there's no need to have Nyheim Hines on your fantasy roster in 10 and 12 team leagues because he really don't have a role. And like I mentioned, Jonathan Taylor this season, 3-down back. So right here, it's an easy drop, in my opinion, to drop Nyheim Hines. And the third and final running back I would drop this week's Jamal Williams of the Detroit Lions. So right here, early in the season, it was pretty much a 50-50 split between Williams and DeAndre Swift. But Swift, over the last few games, he's really taken the lead in that backfield and gotten more work and made more plays, this Lion offense. So right here, Jamal Williams, the last few games, week 4 at Chicago, 14 carries, 66 yards, pretty good workload. Week 5 at Minnesota, 13 carries, 57 yards, 2 catches, 8 yards. And then week 6 versus Cincinnati, only 4 carries, 1 catch for -2 yards. So his workload's going down slowly over the last few weeks. And right here in week 7, it's going to be another tough matchup for Jamal Williams and the Lions at the Los Angeles Rams. So right here, that's a ball game the Lions obviously are going to be trailing early and often and down a lot in week 7. But I know Jamal Williams could catch the ball out of the backfield. But right now, DeAndre Swift slowly is being the every down back over there, with Williams a little bit of a change of pace over there in Detroit. So with some better options on the waiver wire, or if you need guys who could actually step in and start, I think Jamal Williams is a drop this week. So that's a few running backs I would drop here heading into week 7 of the fantasy football season.